Now, in the examples above, some of those sacred words are names the creators gave to their audience. Some creators don't like naming their audience and others who are in the audience don't like being named, but this is bigger than just naming the community. There are countless ways to incorporate sacred words into your channel. Personally, I prefer sacred words that also summarize the creed. 7. The leader. Vision is the most powerful ingredient to being successful. That doesn't mean keeping people revved up, it means keeping people, period. The equity in your YouTube channel is your people, and it's your job to give them a vision of where the community is going and why it's going there. Practical ideas for YouTube. Jim Burke, Hollywood dealmaker, said, "What is lacking in leadership today? Courage and honesty. People are not willing to tell people what they really think. You are the leader for your community. As the leader, are you standing for something? Are you setting a vision for something that's so big that the only way to accomplish it is for you and your community to link arms together?" Personally, I can't change nearly as many lives through YouTube on my own as I could if I train thousands of other creators and we do it together. As Hanlon says in his book, the leader's quest in primal narrative frequently becomes mythic simply because that is the most powerful form of storytelling. This can be especially true on YouTube where viewers are subscribing to a leader's story. Where is your story leading your audience? What vision have you set for them? These 7 pieces of the Primal Code make up only the first section of Hanlon's book. Section 2 discusses how we all want to be a part of something larger than ourselves and how to create a belief system that attracts a community. Then the final section discusses how we communicate the pieces of the Primal Code through our brands. I108 highly recommend you read the whole book and come up with your own ideas for how you integrate the principles into your YouTube efforts. Tasks. Go through each of the 7 elements of the Primal Code and write down a few ideas of how you could implement each one into your channel and your content, especially concerning your creation story and creed. Even attempt to write a belief statement that you can integrate into your videos, value proposition, and branding. What do you believe about the value you're proposing on your channel? Why is it valuable? What belief drives you to offer that value and what belief do your viewers hold that makes it valuable for them? Buy the book, Primal Branding, read it, and apply it to your channel. Resources. The main resource for today is pretty obvious, but this page from YouTube gives you some action steps you should take to build a sustainable community on your channel. I interviewed Patrick Hanlon in an hour-long Google Plus Hangout on air. We talked a lot about the Primal Code and how to implement it into our YouTube channels. %109 Day 33, Annotations Teaching. After a pretty long day yesterday, let's take a lighter approach today and talk about YouTube annotations. I'll assume most of you know what these are, but very briefly, they let you make certain parts of your video semi-interactive by adding little notes or square boxes around things in the video. These boxes can be linked to other videos, a different part of the same video, a subscribe box, playlists, channels, or even your own website. Annotations can be a powerful tool in crafting effective videos for audience development, but there's 2 big mistakes a lot of creators make that hinder their effectiveness. The first mistake is creating your video, uploading it, and then thinking about annotations. When you do this, your annotations often look like interruptions on the screen that viewers quickly close. Rather, annotations are most effective when they are designed to be a part of the video, usually as spotlight annotations with both an on-screen and audible call to action to click. Your end card is a good example of this. The annotations should almost be invisible to the viewer other than to signal that a certain part of the video is interactive. The other mistake is using them primarily to move viewers off of YouTube and to your website. As we alluded to a few weeks ago, the problem with this is that it will both lower the watch time of the video and end a viewer's watch session on YouTube. Both are signals to Google that lower the video's SEO value. It's okay to use external annotations and call to actions that send people away from YouTube, but only do so as long as it makes good business sense to do so. Tasks. If you have older videos on YouTube that are still getting views and should point people to newer or updated versions of the video, update those old videos with note annotations, the link to the updated videos. %110 Toward the end of some of your popular videos, add annotations that encourage people to click and watch another video that's related to the one they're watching. It's best if you link that annotation to one of your own related videos. If you haven't already added annotations to make different images and video thumbnails in your end card link to other content, go ahead and do that today. Resources: here are some common uses and best practices that YouTube recommends for annotations. Not sure how to create or edit annotations? This should help. Here's instructions on how to set up annotations to link to your website. 111 Day 34, Interactive Cards Teaching. Now that your annotations are all set up, let's consider a few limitations they have. First, they don't work on mobile devices. If someone is watching your video through the YouTube app on an iPhone, Android tablet, or even natively in a mobile browser, your annotations will not show up, thus rendering them useless to half of your potential audience. This is due to the fact that annotations are based on Flash technology, which is not supported on mobile devices. Second, let's just be honest, they're kind of ugly. I mean, they work, but they don't scream, "I look totally professional." Third, the click-through rate on annotations is typically pretty low. Yesterday's teaching will set you up to get the highest click-through rate possible, but if your click rate percentage is floating in single digits, you're doing about average. Interactive cards is YouTube's response to the aging Flash technology that supports annotations and the low click-through rates. When you add an interactive card to a video, a small icon of the letter I appears in the upper right corner of the video. It's invisible until the user moves their mouse over the video somewhere. Then it appears and is available for the viewer to click at any time while watching the video. All the interactive cards, i.e. links to other content you've added to the video, then appear at once as a sidebar down the right side of the video. The idea behind interactive cards is to create a consistent interactive experience across all devices. That way, interacting with a video on a mobile device is the same for the viewer on a desktop. People know how it works, and it's the same no matter where they watch your video. The way YouTube does this is to give you the ability to determine at what point in the video you would like a title to pop out in the video from the eye in the upper right corner of the video. The card slides out, sits there for 5 seconds, and will slide back to being %112 invisible if it's not clicked within 5 seconds. Of course, the viewer can bring it back simply by clicking the eye icon in the upper right corner of the video. Similar to annotations, you can link interactive cards to other YouTube videos, playlists, your website, certain online merchants, crowdfunding sites, YouTube channels, and more. Keep in mind that because cards stay open for 5 seconds, you shouldn't have 2 cards appear any closer than 7 seconds apart. I recommend leaving at least 15 seconds between 2 interactive cards. Also, you can only have a maximum of 5 interactive cards per video, so use them wisely. Tasks: the same older videos you updated yesterday with annotations to point to newer or updated versions of the video should also be updated with interactive cards. Update those videos with cards today. Add an interactive card toward the end of your YouTube videos to send people to another video or to a playlist to watch that's relevant to the video they're watching. This will make it easier for viewers to watch more of your videos. If you know of any videos on your channel that have important annotations that you want a viewer to click, update that point in the video with an interactive card so mobile viewers can still interact with the video. Interactive cards %113 resources. YouTube has an in-depth article and video on how to set up and add interactive cards to your videos. A Guide to Interactive Cards, Real SEO, How to Get the Most Out of YouTube Interactive Cards, Tube Talk Podcast. %114 Fostering Community Day 35, Asking Questions Teaching. Most of the time there are viewers who would gladly interact and comment, but they don't really feel like they have anything to say. They watch your video and at the end think, that was nice, and move on. Once that happens, you've lost a potential opportunity to connect with that viewer. One very effective way to entice these viewers to interact with you is to simply ask a question. Viewers who are opinionated or who just like to talk will comment with or without your invitation, but a question helps pull in many of the viewers who would otherwise not have anything to say. That's why I ask a question at the end of every video creator's video. I use it to spark the conversation and give us something to talk about. When you ask a question, though, the viewer has to feel like you genuinely care about their response. The best way to do that is to actually reply to each of their comments with a thoughtful response. Also, try to avoid yes or no questions because that doesn't really lead to a conversation. Ask open-ended questions and opinion-based questions, ones that lead to users sharing their stories and perspective on the matter. Finally, don't ask too many questions. If you ask them to talk about 14 different things, then you'll end up confusing a lot of people and they won't know what to talk about first. Stick with 1 or 2 questions to keep the conversation pointed and focused. 115 tasks. Think of some ways you can spark conversations through your videos, specifically by asking good questions. If asking questions isn't appropriate for your content, then think of some other ways to invite the viewers to interact. Maybe you can simply ask a question visually with some text? Maybe start a separate comment reactions video series? Or maybe even ask a question in status update when you share the video or in the video's description text? Resources. YouTube shares a couple ideas for how you can get viewers to act on their Get Viewers to Act page. 116 Day 36, Comment Interaction Teaching. Asking questions is important, but responding to their comments is just as important. If there's a conversation happening on your video, be sure to join it and foster the community. Personally, I try to reply to the first couple comments right after a video is published. That way, when other viewers come and check out the video, one of the first things they see is that I respond to comments. It shows viewers that I'm not just an impersonal face in a video, but I'm actually listening to what people have to say. This often prompts a lot more of them to comment who otherwise might have watched the video and left. I'm showing them, I'm here. I'm listening. I care about what you have to say. After replying to a couple of the first comments, I usually leave the video for a bit and do some other work and come back either later in the day or the next morning to catch up on the rest of the comments. This allows me to jump in on the conversation early, but doesn't cause the comments to take over my entire day. The other thing I do is try to limit the amount of time I spend replying to comments to about an hour each day. I say try because I really love the interaction and sometimes go over my 1 hour allotment, but I set time limits so the rest of my life stays in balance. That means I don't reply as much to comments on older videos, and soon it will mean I don't get to reply to every comment on my new videos either. Now, I realize some of you may not have that problem. You'd be happy with just 1 or 2 comments on a video. Don't worry, as you implement your channel strategy, search and discovery strategy, and audience development strategy, comments will come. A common question that often comes up about YouTube comments is, how do you handle negative and inappropriate comments? The answer to that is up to each individual creator. Personally, I use the bulk comment moderation settings to blacklist certain words and domains that get spammed on my comments a lot. Other than that, I pretty much let anyone say whatever they want as long as they're not personally attacking someone else in the community. I don't care if they're attacking me, I let 117 those go and just don't respond, but usually I don't have to because someone else in the community sticks up for me before I get a chance to reply anyway. As the leader of the community, I value open discussions, even if they're heated, but personal attacks and hate speech is where I draw the line. That's not the kind of community I want to foster. Tasks. Our first order of business today is to put a comment management system in place. The ones that are built into YouTube are the Google+ notifications, email notifications, and the comment management page at youtube.com/comments. Right now I find that using the Google+ notifications are the easiest way for me to keep up with new comments, but Google is always updating things, so that could change at any time. If you get a manageable amount of YouTube comments, make sure you're replying to every single one of them. In fact, if you haven't already done so today, take few minutes right now to go do that. If you get a crazy number of comments every day and decided to not really reply to any of them, change that decision now. Figure out an amount of time you can dedicate each day to replying to whatever comments happen to be in front of you, even if it's just 5 minutes. Resources. I talk more about how to manage 1,000s of comments in this video. By default, Google+ organizes YouTube comments to show top comments first, comments Google thinks you'll be most interested in. Here's how the top comments algorithm works. 118 Some think that getting a lot of comments on your video leads to higher rankings in search results, which isn't directly true, but can be in the sense that means you're probably accumulating watch time on the video. More about that here. Want to change your Google Plus profile's notification settings, either via email or G+ notifications? This should help. If your YouTube channel is connected to a Google Plus page, here's how you update the notifications settings for your page. These are the instructions for how you moderate your YouTube comments. 119 Day 37, Channel Feed Teaching. You're most likely familiar with your profile's feed on Facebook. It shows a list of everything you've posted and shared with your friends. Your YouTube channel actually has a feed that works very similarly to your Facebook feed. Curating it can be a tremendous asset in helping you foster community and for keeping your viewers engaged. Here's what part of the video creator's channel feed looks like right now. Your channel's feed can show 6 different kinds of activities: when you upload a new video, when you add video to a playlist, when you like a playlist, when you like a video, 120 when you subscribe to a channel, when you share a status update, including one with an attached video, playlist, or any non-YouTube URL for that matter. Similarly to Facebook, YouTube has an all-activity feed that compiles all the shared activities across from all the channels you subscribe to and places it into one news feed. It's a great way to discover new content that other channels you subscribe to are liking and subscribing to. I've benefited many times from other popular YouTubers liking one of my videos. If they're sharing that activity to their channel feed, it introduces my video to all their subscribers who are browsing the all-activity feed. A few years ago, when the Shaytards liked one of my family's videos, it brought about 6,000 new viewers within a couple hours. Likewise, when Vsauce liked one of my clients' videos, that activity introduced our video to tens of thousands of new viewers. Utilizing the all-activity feed for your channel can be very beneficial, as well. Personally, I'm choosing to share my uploads, likes, and playlist updates to my channel feed. That means when I upload a video, my subscribers get notified. After a few days, when that activity has passed through their feeds, I sometimes go back and like my video by giving it a thumbs up. That activity is now shared to my channel feed and resurfaces it in the all-activity feed, introducing it to subscribers who may have missed it the first time. Sometimes, though, I'll just make a straight-up status update, just like you might expect on Facebook. Unfortunately, there's no way for subscribers to interact with this status update, but at least they'll see it in their all-activity feed. 121 Tasks. Wondering what your channel's activity feed looks like? To see all your activity, simply go to your YouTube channel and in the address bar add feed to the end of your channel's URL. i.e. http://www.youtube.com/user/username/feed. Take a look at the all-activity feed for your YouTube subscriptions. You can do it either by clicking this direct link or go to your subscriptions and at the very top of the page, click the All Activity tab next to the Uploads Only tab. Browse through that feed a bit and become familiar with how it works, what sharing looks like there, and what your subscribers might experience with your own channel's feed updates. Next, set up your channel to share certain activities to your channel feed and thus to your subscribers' all-activity feed. For sharing likes, new subscriptions, and playlist updates, go to your YouTube channel. Hover your mouse over your channel's title. All the way to the right a pencil icon will appear. Click it and select Edit Channel Navigation. The second section on that page gives you boxes to check and uncheck to share or not share those activities. Find more detailed instructions here. You should at least be sharing likes and playlist updates. Whether or not you share channels you subscribe to is up to you. If that box is grayed out, go to your channel's privacy settings and uncheck the box to keep your subscriptions private. While you're there, uncheck the box to keep your likes and playlist updates private, too. In case you're very active on YouTube and worried about oversharing, YouTube groups similar actions together in the all-activity feed, so no need to worry there. Finally, let's make a status update about something for your subscribers. Go back to your channel's activity. 122 feed and at the very top look for a box that says, Share Your Thoughts. In that box, write a status update for your subscribers. Feel free to include a video or playlist, either yours or someone else's, or, a little known trick is that you can actually add any URL to your status update, too. When your status is ready, click Post. Write down a few ideas of how you can maintain an active channel feed to keep your subscribers engaged. What kinds of activity do you feel is appropriate to share? How will you do so in a way that continues to add value to your subscribers and fosters your community? Resources. For a few more tips on using your channel activity to share content, check out the Uploads and Activity page of the YouTube Creator Playbook. 123 Day 38 Social Engagement Teaching. By now it probably goes without saying that you understand the importance of building relationships with your viewers. Technically, they're parasocial relationships, in case you cared to know. We've already touched on ways to use social media to promote your videos outside of YouTube, but for the sake of completion, I'm sure you understand that using your social media accounts solely to promote yourself will not help you build relationships. Instead, use it to interact with your audience outside of YouTube. Not every subscriber lives inside YouTube every day. Some may only check it once in a while. So being interactive and accessible on other social platforms and further deepen relationships with those people. Not only does it give you another opportunity to put your content in front of them, but sometimes a good old tweet is way more conducive for a conversation than long comment thread on YouTube. You've already added your social media accounts to your channel's setup and to the description text of your videos, so now all that's needed is an occasional reminder for subscribers that they can connect with you outside of YouTube. Tasks. In your next video where it's appropriate to do so, how can you give a gentle reminder to your viewers that you're available outside of YouTube? Personally, I often just do it visually. Like, instead of putting my name on the screen, I'll put it Tim Schmoyer with a little Twitter icon or Facebook icon, Instagram, Google+, Vine, or whatever the case may be. As we saw a few weeks ago, some creators simply add the social icons to their end card as a visual reminder. However you do it is up to you, but come up with a plan for reminding your audience that you're available on other social platforms. Of course, being available on other platforms means that you're actually available there for conversation. When viewers tweet you, you respond, unless you get 124 1,000s of them every day, in which case you set a time limit and respond to the ones you can. Do that today if you haven't yet already. Take the initiative to reach out to some of your followers on other platforms. I like to circle back everyone on the Google+ Video Creators page because occasionally I like to go to the feed and see what the rest of the community is up to. Sometimes I leave a comment on what I see there or give a few things A+1. It lets followers know that I'm there, that I'm listening, and that I'm also interested in them, not just selfishly hoping that they're interested in me. So today, take a few minutes to initiate a few tweets to new followers. Also comment on a couple Instagram pictures of people who comment on your pictures. Then find a few people on your Facebook fan page who have profiles that will let you post a quick note on one of their updates. But please, do not do this because you're trying to suck up to your community, do it because you genuinely care, because you should. They give you so much, the least you can do is give a bit back. Resources. The Huffington Post has 5 ways people build successful relationships on social media. Social Media Today has a post on building relationships by proactively initiating a dialogue on social media. 125 Day 39 YouTube Live Teaching, it's your last day. Woohoo! I've saved the best for last. Let's spend it talking about the best tool I've ever used for fostering community on your channel, live streaming events. Whether you get all professional with YouTube Live and stream events from multiple camera angles or simply jump into a Google+ Hangout on air with a webcam, there's nothing that compares to the live interaction between you and your viewers. Every time I do a Google+ Hangout on air, I get more comments, more sharing, and more engagement than any other type of video. It's unreal. The live, interactive nature of the video not only draws viewers into the raw, unedited experience, but the fact that it has a defined ending time heightens their sense of, oh, if I don't sit down to join the hangout at 7 p.m. tonight, I'll miss it completely. No one has this feeling about watching a YouTube video. It will always be available for them later. While the recording of a live event may be available for replay, the actual live and interactive experience won't be. I try to do a Google Plus Hangout on air once a month at Video Creators, usually the last Tuesday of every month. Sometimes I invite guests to discuss a specific topic. Other times I just sit back and answer questions, ask them questions, and hang out, pun intended. Whether you use Google Plus Hangouts on air or YouTube Live is outside the scope of our discussion here, but I'll suffice it to say that anyone with a webcam can host a Hangout on air. It requires no special technical knowledge of live streaming. Plan an idea ahead of time of what you want to talk about and get a couple guests to join you so there's no dead air. Then set up your event, promote it, and show up on time to interact with your viewers. Percent 126 tasks. I'm sure you know what your task is for today. Schedule a Google Plus Hangout on air with your viewers. Read some of the links provided below to learn how to do it, but I promise, hosting a live event on your YouTube channel is not as hard as it sounds. First, ensure that you're logged into Google Plus under your YouTube channel's Google Plus account. Then go to Google Plus' Hangouts on Air section, click the blue Start a Hangout on Air button, schedule it for later, and fill out all the requested info. You'll get an event page for the Hangout where people can RSVP to get reminders and updates about the event. You'll also get the YouTube URL for your Hangout that's reserved for when your video goes live. Research: Google Plus Hangouts on Air are always changing, so please read these links before hosting your first event. The directions I listed above may not even be valid anymore by the time you read this. The links below should always be updated with the latest information, though. YouTube has a series of videos that teaches both some basic and advanced best practices for Hangouts on Air and YouTube Live. Here's Google's guide on getting started with Hangouts on Air. Google lists their high-profile Hangouts on Air here, along with some basic information about what Google Plus Hangouts on Air are. If you want to stream an event that requires a bit more than someone sitting in front of a webcam, then consider YouTube Live. Here's an introduction on how to use YouTube Live. I recommend circling Ronnie Bincer if you want to keep up with the latest updates, changes, and techniques for hosting Google Plus Hangouts on Air. And for the latest for YouTube Live, circle Bern Rexer. Percent 127 supplemental ideas. You finish the 39 days. Wow. To be honest, I was tempted to keep going with additional days, but instead of tying you to this book forever, I decided to summarize a few additional ideas for you that can use to improve your channel experience and audience development. Come up with 10 video ideas. This can be especially helpful if you regularly sit down and think, what should I do for a video this week? Depending on the nature of your videos, you may even be able to shoot several videos at once and save time. Here's the system I put in place to ensure I never run out of video ideas. And here's 15 ideas for pushing through writer's block from some of the most creative people I know. Put together a calendar for your 10 ideas. Having video ideas is nice, but planning a content schedule for your channel can help you actually meet the deadlines. Watch a first-time viewer watch your videos. This can be a bit scary, but you can learn so much from it. Watch their body language, what their eyes are doing, what makes them smile, and more. Comment on other people's videos. We discussed this in the sense of social media overall, but take a few minutes to click on the profiles of your top fans and regular commenters and comment on a few of their videos. Improve another person's channel. The goal here is to analyze other channels and learn as much as you can. Just as learning another language helps you better understand your own language, so analyzing someone else's channel can help you learn more about your own channel. Improve big channels, small channels, those in your niche, and those that are completely different from yours.